Michigan International is best known for the awesome speeds and competitive racing spawned by its broad racing surface and 73-foot wide, 18-degree bank turns. Michigan's width and steep banking ensure there's always more than one racing groove, and the fact that MIS is not a super speedway means drivers have more than enough power to make the challenge out of the turns at both ends of the track. Once upon a time, Indy cars frolicked on those high banks at breathtaking speeds. Witness to Paul Tracy's record qualifying lap of 234.949 miles per hour. Today, Michigan regularly vies with Daytona, Talladega, and Texas as NASCAR's fastest speedway, with Jeff Gordon holding the NASCAR Cup Series track record of 206.558 miles per hour. Richard Petty, David Pearson, Bobby and Davey Allison, Dale Sr. and Jr., Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson have all added their names to the roll call of MIS winners, one that also includes names like Andretti, Foyt, Unser, Mears, and Zanardi from the days when Indy cars raced in the Irish Hills. Allison to Yarborough, Andretti to Zanardi, the world's greatest racing drivers have been coming to Michigan to test their mettle for more than 40 years, and the fans have followed by the hundreds of thousands. Tonight, it's race number 7 of the Vigilante Racing League, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the virtual Michigan Speedway for race number 7 of Season 10 of the VRL. Race distance here tonight, we'll have to check it here. It says 110 laps. I don't know if that's even correct, but track temperature, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, this 2-mile high-speed oval. Lots of action in store here tonight. Taking a look at other details. Fuel capacities at 65% this evening. Max tire changes, 3 sets available over the wall. No fast repairs to speak of. 1 green-white checkered attempt if it comes down to it. Expecting 25 to 29 laps on a full load of fuel. We'll see if that remains the same through strategy and saving that fuel. Practice just about wrapped up here at the Speedway, though. Let's go down trackside to see who's got the top time. Kelly Kuhl, quickest, 38.648. Kyle Vaught, Dylan Bryant, Ricky Wittenberg, Andrew Player, your top 5. Already got one stream chatter. Albert Anderson says, go get him, Albert. Yes, there's 2 Albert Andersons. It's a junior and senior situation. Thanks for checking in, Albert. But to those of you that have not spoken or said hello in the chat, feel free to do so. We don't bite unless you want us to. Just keep it PG for the kids. Yes, I get the irony. About 15 seconds left in this session. We'll jump right into qualifying immediately following. And I do stand corrected. The race distance tonight, 85 laps, not 110. That ends the practice session. Let's see who takes to the track first. John Osborne. It looks like Gallagher's the first one to roll, so we'll stick with the 123 Ford right now. Gallagher out of Roseville, California. We got Kelly in the chat, Lori Vaught in the chat. Thanks for checking in, guys. Her fast time in practice was Kelly Kuhl, a 38.64, maybe a 65 if we're going to round up. Might have been some draft involved there. We'll see if that remains to be quick time. Gallagher on his first timed lap. We got George Rincon in the chat. Hello, Steve, and all of VRL. Wind and fires here in SoCal. No power. Good luck all, and go Goodweiser Motorsports. George, take care of yourself. Be safe out there. I don't think I got to tell you, but if you think the fire's close, it's probably already too close, so get moving if you need to. Gallagher to the start-finish line, crosses the stripe, lap 1 in the books for the 123. 40.496, provisional pole for the time being. Albert Anderson correcting us here. Actually, he's the junior himself. It's the racer, Albert Anderson. He's Albert the third. We got Tim McAdam joining in here. Says, hi, Steve. John McAdam's dad. Thanks for checking in, Tim. Gallagher off turn 4. He slipped to P5 here. Shortcuts the exit at turn 4. Going to make this lap a little bit shorter. Let's see if he picks up pace. Goes to 9th. Jumps back up to P5 with a 39.1. Good lap. Jack Dixon out of turn 4, second quick on his first lap. Crosses the stripe, remains second, and actually slows a bit, about a 10th and a half off his first lap. David Feit back in the number 1. David out of Baltimore, Maryland. Top time right now, it's Jason Gaines, a 39.1. I already forgot the practice times. I thought it was a 38.6, so like we talked about with drafting coming into play, that's likely where that lap came from. Feit crosses the start-finish line, 39.195. Chandler Paul, the number 72, 40.259 first lap. Chandler Paul across the line of 41.92, 20th quick for the 72. Josh Bittner, 21st fast on his first lap, 39.757. Back into the tri-oval here, crosses start finish. TrackDogs.net machine goes 11th quick, 39.170. Sean McDonald, the number 23 out of Canada, a 78 first lap, 20th fast on the board. Good, strong drivers tonight here. Big field. '17th quick for McDonald, 39.206. 10-minute qualifying session. We're just about halfway through it. 2 laps, whatever comes first. So watch Craig Goodenough in the number 89. Six quick for Craig Goodenough on his first lap. He can make this one stick and pick up the pace here. He's got a shot at it. It was only 300ths off pole. Impressive here. You look at these lap times all the way down. I'm just trying to look at it. I was thinking it was just going to be the top 10, but we're within 1/10 of a second from the top spot to 18th right now. This is a non-restricted racetrack, so that's impressive. Goodenough doesn't pick it up here, and a little bit of a money shift there. Hopefully didn't cook the motor on that one. Speaking of cooking the motor, Kyle Vaught, 10,000 RPM down the backstretch. Kyle out of High Point, North Carolina. Just over 3 minutes left in the session. Kyle Vaught on a heater. Trying to park that number 16 into the top 10. First lap for Kyle Vaught. 21st quick, 39-210. We've seen some drivers pick up on lap 2, some not so much. Current top 5 is the 83. Jason Gaines, and it's Jack Dixon, Chris Klein, Jeremiah Burke, Alan Vaught. See if Kyle Vaught can punch his ticket into the top 10. 2.5 minutes remain. Kyle Vaught on the front stretch here will cross start finish. Clock in his final lap. And slows down just a hair. 21st quick so far for the 16. Scott Roney just wrapping up his attempt. 22nd on the tower. 39.197. Still a handful of drivers have yet to make a lap here. Larry Dickerson, Kelly Kuhl, Tim Pope, Mike Everidge, John Osborne, Dylan Bryant, Russ Kilgore, Albert Anderson. So far, not taking a time in qualifying. Again, it might be by design, could be just a planned strategy. They want to start at the back. Sometimes that is the case. Not much time left in the session, so with that, we're going to step aside here, take a short break, and we'll be back with our starting grid after this. Stay with us.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Michigan Speedway, let's take a look at the starting grid on the pole position with a lap time of 39.100 seconds. It's the 83 of Jason Gaines. Outside, front row, the number 48. Missed it by 4/1000ths of a second. It's Jack Dixon. Row number 2, it'll be Chris Klein and Jeremiah Burke. Row 3, 33 of Alan Vaught and Craig Goodenough. Row 4, John Gallagher and John McAdam. Row 5 will be Andrew Player and Greg Dobson. Starting in the 11th position is the 21 of Derek Welch and the 5 of Anthony Williams. Dave Mayberry starts 13th, Dustin Wade 14th. Josh Bittner will roll from the 15th starting position with Mike Adamson to his right elbow. 17th starter, it's David Fight. 18th goes to Dustin Eaton. Scott Roney in the 023 starts 19th. 20th starter is Joe Canellis. 21st goes to Sean McDonald. 22 starting position is Kyle Vaught. 23rd is Andrew Coffin. Ricky Wittenberg will start 24th. 25th starter, Austin Paul. Trevor Robertson in the 6th will start 26th. Kevin Hunt will start 27th. Dion Jones, 28th. 29th goes to Chandler Paul. Timothy Pope starts 30th. Albert Anderson, the number 99, starts 31st. Larry Dickerson, 32nd. 33rd starter, it's John Osborne. Kelly Cool, 34th. 35th goes to Dylan Bryant. Mike Everidge, 36th. And last but not least, shotgun on the field in the number 2, it's Russ Kilgore starting 37th. It's your starting grid here from Michigan Speedway. Field just about ready to roll off the starting grid. Should see the field pull away from pit lane here for one pace lap before we get underway. Again, race details tonight. 85 laps the race distance. Track temperature down a bit, 94 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers with a 65% fuel load plan on 25 to 29 laps on a full tank of fuel. And 3 sets of tires available over the wall for pit stops. No fast repairs. 1 attempt and a green-white checkered finish if necessary. We'll talk about the rules about that if it comes to fruition. If it doesn't, well, don't worry about it. I'm sure we'll get there at some point this season. We got Allie Nope in the chat. Wow, I love this game. Man, you're going to offend a lot of people with that one. Trouble with the heart and the pound it fist. Okay, that works. Edson Ochoa, Pegasus Gaming 956. Let's go, Jason. Thanks for saying hey, guys. While we got everybody here, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and hit the thumbs up, the like button. Help us out with that. It's free to do. It helps the channel and helps the league, gets fresh eyeballs on what's going on over here. So if they haven't seen it before, maybe they'll be introduced to it. Maybe they'll stick around. Maybe they'll join the league. You never know. It's a win across the board. And of course, we're on that run to 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already subscribed, hit that button. We're getting close. I think we're at 953 now. So trying to get this done first quarter, but we'll see what happens. Looks like we've gone an extra lap under yellow here to get everybody caught up. We got a strong field here tonight at 37 cars. Takes a little while to get everybody off pit lane and lined up where they need to be properly. So race admins have added a lap here. Typically on these big racetracks, it's 1 lap and then go. Short tracks, 3/4 mile or less, you're looking 2 laps, but we added 1 here just to make sure we got it right. Ellie Nope says, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it. It's okay. I mean, I guess you could still call it a game. The diehards call it a sim, but I guess it's both. So lights have gone off on the iRacing pace car yet again. We're still getting doubled up here on the backstretch. Inside line, relatively single file, though. You see a bunch of cars straggling there at the back, all to the inside. Those are drivers that did not take a qualifying lap, so I think they are forced to start in the inside line instead of double file all the way back. I don't particularly care for that, but I don't make the rules. I just call the thing. We got Annalena Tovar. Race day, baby. We got Taylor Provac saying hey. Thanks for checking in. All right. Field in 3 and 4. Pace car about to make the hard left turn down pit lane. We're getting ready for a green flag from Barney the flag man just a moment away.
Green flag.
And there it is. Green flag in the air. We're off and running. from Michigan Speedway. Field down the back straightaway, still side by side for the most part. Battle for the race lead, Dixon and Gaines. Gaines to the inside, the black and orange Sim Magic machine. Dixon loses connection for a moment, has yet to come back in. So right now it's Klein in the 18. Everybody scattering contact here, the 123. Up the racetrack, big trouble coming to start finish. Driver still hammering through this wreck. Just like that, the end of lap 1, disaster. I think it all started here with the 123 of John Gallagher. Let's get a look. There were 4 wide coming to the line. Burke way up top. Good enough there in the middle in the black and gold. Gallagher comes together with, I'm trying to see who that exactly is. I think it's the 13. Andrew Player. Interesting way to start the race. First lap in the books. We get the big wreck already. I want to take another look here. Austin Paul going to receive some significant damage to the nose of his vehicle. I want to watch this one from his onboard. Checked up a little bit. So we still work behind the iRacing pace car. I think we're going to be going green the next time by. Nope, lights are still on. So we ride on board with Jason Gaines. It does appear that Jack Dixon did have a different issue here. We saw him lose connection on that opening lap. I don't know if he was involved in this. In fact, I can probably go back and take another look to see. No, he was still out of the session at the time. So Dixon losing connection on that first lap. So he's still registered in the session, so he could get back out there, but it's already a couple of laps down. So Edith Anderson in the chat. Demolition Derby. That was only the first lap. We haven't had enough wrecks for it to be a complete derby yet. Well, let's give it another go here. We lap 6 when we go back to green. Jason Gaines losing connection. You see his car blinking out too. All right, let's try it again. Pace car hits pit lane. Barney with the green in hand. First restart of the day. There it is, green flag in the air. Gaines will lead them to the stripe. Good restart for both Gaines and a good reaction out of Klein. Gaines with the lead down the back straightaway over Chris Klein into turn number 3. Gaines drops it down to the low side of the racetrack. Alan Vaught in the 33 working his way through is alongside Klein out of turn number 4. Little bit of contact. Vaught and Klein get together just ever so slightly. Looks like they do it again here coming to start finish. Awful aggressive here in the opening stages of this race. The battle for second continues. Vaught gets up alongside and clear. So does Craig Goodenough. Not quite clear yet. Still there as Klein continues to fight for the third spot. Klein having trouble hanging on to that spot. Doesn't want to be topside as Kelly Kuhl gets to the inside. Meanwhile, race lead has changed hands as well. Alan Vaught, Craig Goodenough powered through Chris Klein and to the front of the racetrack. They lead this, the 33 out in front. Goodenough runs second, but Gaines looking back to the bottom here in turns 3 and 4. Cross start finish. Vaught continues to lead, but just by maybe a foot over the 89, and Kelly Kuhl jumps way to the bottom of the racetrack to avoid contact with Gaines. Gaines losing connection still. That's troublesome for the drivers that are in behind. Talked about that many times here with the connection issues with some drivers. It happens. But the scary part is for the competition. If that driver loses connection and you're in close proximity to the other car, well, you don't know when or if they're even going to come back in. Problem is if you fill the void that that driver vacated and then all of a sudden they decide they're going to come back, well, you can imagine the problems that ensue then. Ten laps in here from Michigan Speedway. Alan Vaught, Craig Goodenough, the top 2. Meanwhile, the 14 of Dustin Eaton quickly made his way up into the top 3. Eaton started 18th. Battling with the 83 of Gaines right now for that third spot. Some of the drivers starting to settle into their rhythms right now, mostly single file in this pack. Goodenough slides up the racetrack into the higher lane, trying to get a run out of turn 4 on Alan Vaught. Vaught continues to lead over Craig Goodenough, just a few feet, bumper to bumper, back from the 33. Gaines still in the third spot. Eaton still working to the right side of the 83, wanting to take that spot away. They have position and a run off turn number 2 here, alongside, side by side, nose ahead of Gaines down the back straightaway. In fact, he's clear. See if Gaines drives it down. No, Eaton's going to jump to the inside. He's going to look for the second spot, trying to take that away from Craig Goodenough. I gotta say, the 14 to Dustin Eaton looks pretty fast up there. I think he's faster than he's letting on. Running third now in front of now the 29 of Dave Mayberry. Steps out of line again, looking for that second spot. Might have it. No, Goodenough's going to battle around the outside still. We'll have the run on corner exit. Eaton loses the grip a little bit, slides up the racetrack in front of Mayberry. Mayberry changes lanes to avoid contact. Eaton's going to lose some ground here, might lose a spot or 2 out of this, maybe 3 by the time it's all said and done. Meanwhile, here comes the 18 of Chris Klein on a charge back towards the front. Gets 2 for 1 special here, maybe even 3s. He's alongside the 11 of Canellis. Slides up the racetrack a little, has to check up, was going to get into the left side of the 11. Ellis up the racetrack. Gaines now down low. Burke's going to go to the inside. He has a better run, and it sticks. Turns down hard left off turn 4. Now he's got someone to worry about to the inside of the racetrack. It's the 47 of John McAdam. Klein now in behind the 47. Canellis working around the 47. Dustin Eaton has slipped back to the 8th spot. It didn't take a whole lot. He was battling for that second spot, got caught out of line. Drivers took advantage, and he ended up free falling back a handful of spots. Vaught driving it way deep into turns 3 and 4. Goodenough checking up a little bit earlier. Jason Gaines battling with Jeremiah Burke. Burke was all over the back bumper of that number 83 machine, crossed the start-finish line. Got him a little crossed up, and now a car length separates the 2 drivers. Gaines still to the inside of the 29 of Mayberry. Mayberry with a big run off turn 2. He's going to jump to the inside of Craig Goodenough. What a run Mayberry had. He may be clear into turn 3 for the second spot. Gaines is going to try and sniff the draft off the 29 to help him advance forward, but Goodenough with the outside line going to try and build a run off turn 4. Mayberry with that big run out of turn 2 jumps up a couple of positions. Burke into the back bumper of Gaines yet again, pushing that 83, trying a little bump draft at this stage of the race. Goodenough to the outside of Mayberry again here, drives it deep into turns 1 and 2. They were side by side on entry. Goodenough takes the spot back from Mayberry. Mayberry slides back to third. Now we still watch the battle with Burke and Gaines. Burke in that number 53, battling with the 83 of Jason Gaines. Burke finally gets clear of Gaines, now goes after Mayberry, jumps to the inside of the racetrack. Slow car down low, it's the 72, almost caught me off guard. That's Chandler Paul. Good enough now, making a challenge on Alan Vaught for the race lead. No help draft-wise, but does he have enough momentum down the backstretch into 3 to get it done? Vaught's going to battle back. He'll have the advantage on the exit of 4. At the stripe, Vaught leads that lap. Good enough, not quitting. Mayberry still tucked up close in behind the 33. And caution is out. Josh Bittner in trouble down the back straightaway. Don't know if he had help. We'll get a look at the replay in a moment. So caution number 2. We had a good long green flag run in before that incident. Let's see what happened here to the 48 of Josh Bittner. I'm sorry, the 84 of Josh Bittner. Oh, contact for sure. Larry Dickerson making contact with Bittner down the back straightaway. Back it up a little further. I want to go on board with the 69 and just try to get an idea of what he was seeing. Get the driver's eye camera with Larry Dickerson. He's got Bittner to his outside. From that angle, it's hard to tell. Let's go to the roof cam. Yeah, Dickerson's coming up into that lane just a bit. Bittner's there. Dickerson gets into the left rear. Now, we watched that in slow motion to see it. We'll back it up again and go full speed just to give you an idea of how much time you really have to react. It isn't much. So some pit stops underway here at Michigan. Looks like 4 tires and fuel for everybody up and down pit lane. Not a significantly long race here at 85 laps. Alan Vaught's going to lead him out of pit lane. 4 tires and fuel for the 33. Dave Mayberry the same. Craig Goodenough the same. Pretty much the same plan of attack all the way back to 14th in Kevin Hunt. Dylan Bryant appears to be the only driver that went with fuel only. He'll be in the 15th spot when we go back to green. So the race leader will still be as it was prior to the caution. Alan Vaught into the pits first, out of the pits first. Second will be Dave Mayberry. Craig Goodenough third. John McAdam fourth. Jason Gaines fifth. Dustin Eaton will be P6. Chris Klein 7th. Kelly Kuhl 8th. Jeremiah Burke 9th. Joe Canellis 10th. And that lineup may change a bit here as we get ready to go back green. Lori Vaught makes a great point in the stream chat. 30 watching, which is always great, but only 3 likes. We talked about this before, guys. Help us out. Click that like button. It's free to do that. We don't charge to watch the broadcast. We don't charge to click the like button. We don't charge to subscribe. We just charge to broadcast. I know Lori probably hates that part, but we do appreciate the likes. It helps not just us at the channel. It also helps the league. You get some fresh eyes out here. No, not everybody in the YouTube world is an iRacer, but there's some people out there that might find their next league to race in just based on the broadcast alone. So go ahead and punch that, and maybe Lori's got to hit the refresh button. But 16 out of 30, help us out, George. All right, 24 laps in the books. We're doubled up here, ready for the restart. It'll be lap 25 when we go back green. iRacing Mustang pace car hits pit road again. Restart number 2 about to get underway here. There it is, green flag in the air. Mayberry on the throttle trying to time it. Alan Vaught chose the outside on the restart, and I think it might have bit him. Mayberry may have gone early, hard to say, but they're 3 wide for the race lead in turn number 1. Mayberry gets caught in the middle, shuffled down through the pack just a little bit, in contact with Chris Klein. Into everybody else. We got another big wreck on the backstretch.
Yeah, did my radio sound bad out there?
Dave Mayberry in this as well. Some loose handling race cars on the exit of turn number 2. And I think we had a little tank slap situation, though we're on full tanks. Well, let's get a look at it. Not so much a tank slap. A little overcorrect from Mayberry. Hard to say if the 47 came down and got into Mayberry there, or if he just kind of panicked, seeing he was right there, didn't realize it. Yeah, there was a little bit of contact. Watch the 82 here. If this doesn't remind you of Days of Thunder, nothing will. I'm through, Harry. So wrapping up our third caution of the afternoon. Pace car lights are out again, getting ready for another restart. George, I saw the comment up in the chat about way to be aware 82, so I had to take a look, and man, that was a good one. I love when you guys point stuff out like that, especially if we don't catch it. We've got a moment to get into the replay and find it. That was a good job weaving through that mess. Let's give it another go here. Lap 29 will be the restart lap. Pace car about to pull in.
Green flag.
Green back in the air. Oh, we got trouble again on the restart. Craig Goodenough in the inside wall hard. Still no caution. Goodenough just going to toe to pit lane here, so no yellow, but an issue on the restart. Let's try to get a look at it while this thing's going on. Coming to green here just a moment ago. Again, Goodenough was the race leader. Does Gaines get into him here? As soon as he got past the line, I wonder if Goodenough missed his shift. That's kind of what it looked like. Gaines got into him pretty hard. Without missing a shift, I don't see how that's going to cause that problem. Let's go on board this time and listen. Listen closely for the RPMs to spike like he missed a gear. Yep, there it is. Missed a shift. Saw the tack buzz up to 9,800 RPM. That's bad. Tough break for Goodenough. Meanwhile, Alan Vaught still the race leader here. Kelly Kuhl, now Osborne in the third spot. Bittner, remember Bittner? Bittner got spun on the back straightaway a couple of cautions ago, and now he's in the top 5, challenging for the third spot. Top 7 all in their own groove here, starting to check out from the rest of the field. Likely as a result of that restart incident with Gaines and Goodenough. Big run for Bittner, though. Looking to the inside of Osborne here for the third spot. Bittner still in the 4th spot, unable to complete the pass on Osborne, but Osborne all over the back bumper of Kelly Kuhl, looking for the 2nd spot. Top 3 separated by just a few feet. It's a cross start finish. Lap 33 goes up on the board. Top 3 is Vaught, Kuhl, and Osborne. Osborne up the racetrack into turn 1, going to try and build a run. Changes his mind, sees the 84 Bittner coming, closes the door. Bittner up the racetrack here, keeps his foot down. On board with Kelly Kuhl in the 2nd spot. Riding in behind Alan Vaught. Osborne gets the wall off turn 4, shuffles the car down the bottom of the racetrack. That's going to give an opportunity to Bittner. Now the top 2 putting some distance on 3rd place Josh Bittner, only a couple of car lengths. I assume Josh will be able to reel them back in here at the end of the back straightaway. Off turn number 2, Kelly Kuhl with a bit of a run there. Vaught with a little shallow exit. Keeps the door closed on the 01. Bittner with a run outside Kelly Kuhl, now looking for the second spot. Vaught closes the door on Kelly Kuhl, but might be giving a bit of a draft here to the 01 to help keep Kelly alongside Bittner. Vaught goes up the racetrack to get a better entry into turn 3, which is a short snip of a draft for Bittner. Bittner still topside with a run. Can he get his nose in there? Does so, coming out of turn number 4. Still side-by-side battle for the second spot. Kuhl up there trying to side draft inches apart. Bittner thought he was clear. He wasn't. Almost contact. Bittner now at the second position. Gets around the 01. Down the back straightaway now. Sets his sights on Alan Vaught. Kelly Kuhl battling back to the inside. Wants to take back that second position. Got a nose out in front of Bittner, but sticks alongside now with no drafting help. Top lane's going to move here. Bittner's the lead charge there. Osborne all over the back bumper of the 84 into turn 1. Way up the racetrack goes Osborne. Way to the bottom goes Bittner. Vaught thought Bittner might have a run for the race lead. Closes the door on the bottom side. Another shallow exit for the 33. So Kelly Kuhl has slipped back to about the 5th spot. Now we got a caution. Oh, big trouble now. Jeremiah Burke, one of many involved. I think Mike Everidge trying to straighten out the car as well. Let's get a look, see what just happened here to put us under caution for the 4th time. See Everidge and Burke here. Oh, Everidge comes up the racetrack, gets into the 53. Both drivers end up in the outside wall. Oh, then Burke's got to hold the brake there. Just comes down the hill into traffic. Collects the 4 of Deion Jones. I mean, I see what happened there. McAdam jumped to the inside of Burke. Looked like he was going to go up the middle between Everidge and Burke. Everidge tried to block. Blocked a little too far. Gets into the 53, and the rest is history. So pit stop's underway. Alan Vaught finishing up his stop here, 7.43 seconds. So that's a fuel-only pit stop for the 33s. We're just shy of halfway. Alan took a set of tires earlier. He's still got 2 sets over the wall. So we'll take the opportunity here to take a look at the upcoming schedule. We're at Michigan tonight, obviously, but next week we switch tracks and we switch vehicles. We're going to be at Daytona in the truck next week. Always puts on a good race. And the week after, back in the Gen 6 Cup car at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Then we switch it to trucks at Talladega. Gen 6 for the Glen. Looking excited for the Glen. Remember, Derek Welch picked up that race win here back on the 18th of December at the Glen in the trucks. Now we're in Gen 6. It's going to be a completely different animal. Still going to be a fun one to watch. Then we close out this season on the 12th of February in the trucks back at Auto Club. So restart coming, it'll be lap 42. It'll put us just at halfway. Once they get to the backstretch, when they complete the lap, it'll be official. Get the show back on the road. Pace car is in. Bittner now going to lead him down to start finish. He stayed out. So did Greg Dobson. So they'll be the front two.
Ready, green flag.
Green flag in the air. Bittner pitted lap 22. Dobson 26. Watt made a stop for fuel only, but he's right there on the back bumper of Bittner. Down the backstretch here, race lead goes back to Alan Vaught. Kelly Cool way down to the inside. They're 3 wide behind him. Alan drops down to the bottom of the racetrack in front of the 01. Just the action here at the front of this field, intense. The 6 now, Trevor Robertson battling alongside Dobson. Dobson looking to the outside of Alan Vaught. Remember, Dobson did not pit. He came down at lap 26. Vaught closes the door on Osborne, though. As Dobson takes over the race lead. So Vaught now back to second, now third. And looky, here comes Tim Pope. Up from the 30th starting position to second. At the line, the 6 is going to lead it, but how long will he stay there with Pope knocking on the door? And look who's up into the 3rd spot, the 99 of Albert Anderson. Anderson starting from 31st here tonight, running 3rd. Still some battles behind the top 3, which are Robertson, Pope, and Anderson. I think what's happening now is you've got the drivers that made pit stops and took tires versus those that didn't. Cream's going to rise to the top here with the fresh rubber underneath. Meanwhile, Anderson and Tim Pope now side by side. This for the 2nd position down the back straightaway. And now Adamson working with the back bumper of the 99. Adamson switches lanes again, gets behind Anderson for a brief moment. Top 4 positions all at stake here. The race leader still the 6 and Trevor Robertson. completes the pass on Pope, sets his sights on a race lead, jumps out of line. Adamson gets in behind, into turn number 3. The race for the top spot is on. Anderson gets through, gets clear with ease, puts 2.5 tenths on second place. Out of turn 4, new leader. It's the 99 of Albert Anderson. "47 laps complete here from Michigan. Your race leader is the 99 of Albert Anderson, sporting a Track Limits livery. With that, though, we're going to step aside, get a short break out of the way. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Michigan Speedway, 52 laps in the books. Albert Anderson continues to be the race leader here. Robertson second, Tim Pope third. Fourth is Mike Adamson, fifth Larry Dickerson. Robertson trying to hold off the 7 of Tim Pope. He's got his hands full for the time being. Meanwhile, Robertson looking for the race lead, trying to get it from Albert Anderson. Not quite enough to get clear and get by. Big lift out of the 6, loses some ground. Tim Pope stays there, though. Top 7 certainly starting to stretch things out from the rest of the field. Look at that gap, almost a back straightaway's length. I'll say half. Rest of the field pretty well strung out. Meanwhile, Pope taking a look to the inside on Robertson yet again. Tim Pope to the inside of Robertson out of turn number 2. Side by side, they'll drag race. Adamson, though, is in behind the 7 of Pope. Pope drives it way deep down into turn number 3. Larry Dickerson off the back bumper now with the 6. He's got McAdam there in behind him, and Adamson sticking with the 7 for now. Pope goes up the racetrack, gets in between the 6 and Dickerson, trying to use some of that push off the 69 machine. Anderson, though, out in front, just trying to decide what lane he wants to run in. Was top side, drives it all the way to the bottom of the racetrack yet again. Continues to lead over the 6 and 7 of Robertson and Pope. Robertson steps on a line, though, looking to the inside in turn 1 for the race lead. Drives it way deep and takes the top spot. Brazen move by the 6. Can he hang on to it out of turn number 2? Little crossover. Anderson now to the inside of Robertson. Down the back straightaway. Will he take this lead back into 3? Anderson drives it to the bottom, makes it stick, and Robertson can't hang. So Albert Anderson retakes the top spot before the lap completes. Back to start finish, lap 58 complete, 59 on the board. Looking through the top 10, there's some names we really haven't talked a lot about today. Dylan Bryant being one of them, Ricky Wittenberg another, and then Kyle Vaught quietly working into the top 10. All these drivers taking care of their stuff throughout this race, and that's half the battle. If you want to win the race, you got to finish the race. There's been some calamity here this afternoon, and we got a battle now for second. Dickerson almost gets into the back of Anderson as he's lost the lead to Robertson. Robertson, Anderson, Dickerson, we got a lot of sons up here at the front of the field. Speaking of sons, Greg Dobson on pit lane. This looks like this might be the final stop for the 085 coming down under green. Kind of working the road course strategy, be the first driver to pit last. See if this pays off for Dobson. He's in the pits, likely going to take his last set of tires here. 4 tires and fuel for Dobson. He'll get back out there. He has lost a lap, though, but he's not the only one that'll need to pit with 25 laps to go. He's done for the day as far as that goes, unless we get another caution. Meanwhile, back and forth battle for the race lead continues between Robertson and Anderson. Larry Dickerson there in third in the red number 69 to the inside now. Crossover, McAdam goes to the bottom. Dylan Bryant crosses over, goes to the bottom. I know we're at Michigan. I know they're driving stock cars, but I feel like I'm at an air show watching these guys fly around in formation. Trevor Robertson out in front. Anderson still fighting for the second spot with the 69. Tim Pope there in behind both of them. Then John McAdam, the 47 to the bottom. Adamson, the 88 Bud car to the back. Now McAdam tucks in behind the 88. Dickerson loses some ground. And Anderson goes back to the point. Still not clear, though. They're side by side. Robertson in the 6 Gravedigger scheme up top with a big run out of 4. Is it enough to get the lead back at the stripe? 23 to go as they cross the line. Robertson noses out in front at the line. Robertson now with the race lead. Pope up to the second spot. Anderson has been relegated back to third with 22 to go. Top 7 drivers in this small pack. John McAdam trailing. Going to sniff a lot of a draft here. Again, this isn't going to be an end-all, be-all for this race. We still have 22 to go, but these drivers up at the front of the field, none of them have seen pit road since lap 39. They cannot make it all the way to the end on fuel. They're going to need to make at least one more stop. Will it be under green? Will it be under caution? That's the big question. That may determine whether or not they bolt on tires or go fuel only, or maybe just rights. Time will tell. Still, the second place battle is on. Pope and Anderson, they were side by side on the exit of turn number 2, but Pope has the bigger run with Bryant in behind. Tim Pope with some connection issues. You see him blinking in and out. That's scary for Dylan Bryant. You see him change lanes immediately, trying to avoid getting into him. Pope comes back in, though, but it's going to stretch this top group out a little bit. Still side by side. Dickerson and Anderson were side by side off turn number 2. Thought there might have been some contact, but the 69 gets clear. Anderson tried to get in behind, but McAdam was to his outside, so Anderson's going to drop back here. May end up going to the tail of this small pack here at the front of the field. And Robertson from the race lead is going to hit pit lane. Final stop of the day for the 6. Now this is almost like an undercut. He can come down here and put some tires on, and he's going to have more pace. Certainly going to be faster than the guys out on the track right now. They're running high 40s. Fast laps of the day were high 38, so tires are going to make a big difference here for Trevor Robertson. He drops the jack, goes back out of there with 4 fresh Goodyear Racing Eagles. Should be good to go all the way to the end. Even if we get a green-white checkered, he should be okay. Meanwhile, back out front, Tim Pope sniffs the race lead for the first time today. Albert Anderson now back to second. Adamson third. Dickerson fourth, but he's going to hit pit lane. So final pit stops underway. Dickerson comes to a stop in his pit box. John McAdam still rolling. McAdam doing 4 tires and fuel as well. It's a longer stop, but it's worth the squeeze. Tim Pope now enters pit lane with Mike Adamson on the back bumper. 4 tires and fuel for Tim Pope. That puts Albert Anderson back out in front. Will he pit this time? And here he comes, the 99 Track Limits Network Chevy Camaro hits pit road for the final time today. Will he opt for just 2 tires to save the time, or is he going to bolt on 4 like everybody else? Locks him up into the pit box. Got her woe down in time. Four tires and fuel for Albert Anderson. Back in the fight. Ricky Wittenberg just finishing up his pit stop in the number 55. 4 tires and fuel for Ricky as well. Meanwhile, that early pit stop strategy for the 6 of Robertson, well, it did exactly what we expected. He's out in front with a 1.6 second advantage over the rest of the field. That number is coming down because he's out there by himself. And you see those cars in behind. Larry Dickerson leading that charge. Well, they're drafting right now, so they're going to be a tick faster. Once they get there, though, Robertson should be able to make some evasive action to make sure they don't get clear of him. Coming to 15 laps to go. See the deficit shrinks now to 1.3. See Robertson way up the racetrack. It's the longer way around, but you build more speed. Deficit now under a second, 0.8 back to second place. Now 14 laps remain. Now focus on Larry Dickerson and Dylan Bryant here. They're working together, at least for the time being. They made their pit stop at lap 67. About 4 or 5 laps to go, so they have the freshest tires in that lead group. At least into the top 10. I think John McAdam pit down as well. Oh, now it's making a liar out of me. Albert Anderson came down at lap 69. So did Mike Adamson. So they've got fresher tires underneath them. It's only a few laps, but it really does make a difference if you get running side by side. You just have a couple of laps fresher tires underneath you. You can usually get the car to stick just that much better. As we got a battle for the lead here as they caught Robertson quickly. Dickerson goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Robertson manages to defend, hangs on to the top spot for now, kind of as we suspected would be the case once they got there. Now things start to change just a bit. Dylan Bryant goes up the racetrack, kind of abandons the draft of the 69, but Pope takes advantage, takes the position away from the 51. Now Dickerson swaps lanes, looking back to the inside into 1, closes back to the back bumper, almost contact, but Pope crosses over, goes to the inside for the second spot, maybe even the race lead if he can get clear. Pope not enough momentum to get it done for the top spot, but hangs on to second for the time being. Will tuck in behind the 6, less than 12 to go. Robertson still leads. Dylan Bryant back on the charge. He's now looking to the inside on Tim Pope, but nowhere to go. Not enough of a run down into turns 1 and 2 to complete that pass. Pope will have to run out of turn 2. Bryant's going to have to tuck back in. Dickerson there in behind Bryant, then Alan Vaught running in 5th. Pope takes a look yet again to the inside. Pope might have him clear, and he does. Slams the door. Robertson really should have tried the crossover there. I don't know if he had to check up, but man, that was close. He had the momentum. And now we're going to swap it up. Bryant jumps to the bottom, trying to take advantage as well. Dylan Bryant going for second, maybe more. Same as we saw earlier, the 6 is going to work around the outside, use that momentum to his advantage. Might have scraped the wall a bit on exit. And Bryant loses a spot in that battle, now slips back to 4th. Robertson switching lanes again. I don't know if that's just to try and break the draft from Dickerson or to chase Tim Pope. Either way, it didn't seem to pay off at all. Dickerson into the back bumper of Robertson. Robertson trying to throw a small block. Does so to break that momentum of Dickerson. Now Bryant losing connection in behind Dickerson. Top 4 all together in this frame into turns 3 and 4. Alan Vaught in 5th just behind them. Tim Pope enjoying the clean air out in front. Dickerson swapping lanes again. Little bump into turn 1. Now Dickerson stays to the top, drives around the outside, going to go the long way to get around the 6. Off turn number 2, Dickerson and the power, gets by, gets clear. Same for Dylan Bryant, now alongside Robertson down the back straightaway. He'll get clear, so Robertson from 2nd to 4th in just the length of the back straightaway. So 7 laps remain now for Tim Pope, still out in front here, not getting away. Less than a tenth and a half, the race lead distance back to Dickerson. Less than 7 laps to go. The drivers with the newest tires out there unable to gain any ground, at least for the time being. That's Mike Adamson and Albert Anderson. Both drivers pitting late at lap 69. Still by comparison, race leader Larry Dickerson now gets around Tim Pope. Pope slips back to 3rd. He's going to battle back around Dylan Bryant for the 2nd spot. Might have enough of a run to re-challenge for the race lead. Dickerson takes away the line. Bryant tucks behind Pope. Robertson steps on a line for a moment. Might have been contact with the 33 of Vaught. Alan Vaught now looking to the inside of the 6 into turn 3. Lots going on here at Michigan with less than 6 laps remaining. Dylan Bryant able to hang on to the spot. Vaught still in 4th alongside Robertson. Robertson not giving up the fight. Speaking of fights, Bryant and Pope might have banged doors off turn number 2 at the stripe. 5 laps to go. Pope jumps down to the bottom of the racetrack, goes to the inside of Dylan Bryant, wants that 2nd spot back, knows he's got a car strong enough to win this race, wants to get there, wants to get back after Larry Dickerson. Pope gets back around, though. No drafting help for the 7. He's going to get shuffled out, maybe at the end of this pack, possibly behind the 33 of Vaught. Adamson now looks to the inside of Robertson for 3rd. Pope not giving up either. He jumps into the bottom of the racetrack. Thought we were going for a ride for a minute. Bryant, 2nd spot. Dickerson with the lead, looking back at the chaos that's unfolding behind him. Robertson steps out for a minute, looks to the inside of Bryant, gives up on it, gets to the inside. Now Bryant going for the race lead into turn number 1. Dickerson with a big run. He'll have it out of 2. Crosses over, looks to the inside. Exit at turn 2, wanting the race lead back. Does anybody go with him? It does. The 88 of Adamson there with a little bit of drafting help. Alan Vaught steps out. He gets in behind the Budweiser 88. Side by side for the race lead, coming to 3 laps to go. Larry Dickerson able to hang on to it, but for how long? Can he keep this up? Can these guys in behind him keep up this level of aggression without chaos unfolding? They've done a great job to this point, but 3 laps to go in contact. Bryant gets into Dickerson, crosses him up big time, but everybody continues on. Dickerson, a short reprieve here, a tenth and a half out in front of Dylan Bryant, but Bryant on strong, hungry for this race win. Robertson back to 3rd. Pope has slipped to 4th. Don't count any of these guys out yet. This one's not over, and any one of them have a shot. Now to the inside, a three-wide battle for the race lead. Robertson to the inside of Bryant. Bryant now tucks in behind the race leader, still side by side for second. Coming to 2 laps to go. Dickerson crosses the stripe as the leader. Will it continue for 2 more? Bryant there to the back bumper. Dickerson's got to be thinking, is Bryant going to get into me again? That's got to be going through his head. Up to third now, Pope with a run. Up to block is Bryant. Out of turn number 2, will there be contact? Pope checks up just a bit, stays in behind. Robertson smacks the wall off turn 2. Less than 2 laps to go as they work into turns 3 and 4. Larry Dickerson just over 2 miles shy of a checkered flag. Can he hold these guys off for another lap? Out of 4, looking for the final lap. The white flag in the air. Barney's waving it. Last lap for Michigan. Into the inside, Dylan Bryant looking for the lead. Final lap into turn number 1. Does he have it? Dylan Bryant drives it deep into turns 1 and 2. He's got the lead for now, but Dickerson way up the racetrack. He's going to have a monster run. Does he have enough to get alongside Bryant? Will Bryant throw the block? He does. Dickerson still steps out, looks to the bottom. Tim Pope, look at his chops, waiting for a mistake out of the top 2. Still side by side for the lead into turn 3. Dickerson retakes the top position. Bryant settles back into second. They're off turn number 4. A final move for Dylan Bryant. Drops it down to the apron, switches lanes, goes up the racetrack, but at the stripe, it's Dickerson. Well done, VRL. Well done. Larry Dickerson takes the checkered flag. Dylan Bryant second. Tim Pope comes home in the 3rd spot. What a finish. Put him up on the dash. Larry Dickerson out of Roxborough, North Carolina, picking up the race win. What a run. Super impressive. They had about 12 chances to wreck there in those last 5 laps, and it just didn't happen. So Larry just going to sit there, or are we going to light him up? I think that's all she wrote for Larry Dickerson. We're going to step aside here, get a break out of the way. I'm going to catch my breath, and we'll be back with our top 3 after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Sgarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Racing isn't easy. but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back at Michigan Speedway, race number 7 in the books, and it was a thrilling one to the finish. Larry Dickerson picking up the race win. We're going to talk to the driver, that number 69, right now and get a word with our race winner. Driver, the number 69 Outcast Racing Machine. It's Larry Dickerson. You got us?
Got you loud and clear there, buddy.
Larry, congratulations, man. What a race, what a finish, and what a win. Cross the start-finish line, the white flag lap as the race leader. Dylan Bryant drives it right down to the inside, takes the top spot, but you didn't quit. You didn't give up. Into turn number 3 and then 4. You take the race lead back, have to fend him off there at the finish, but walk us through that last lap from your perspective. How did you hold him off for that race win?
Honestly, I was scared to death when it came to the white, because I knew there was 5 or 6 guys behind us, and this track is so dependent on the draft. And I took the white, and I looked in my mirror, and I told my teammate when he had to run on me, I'm like, well, I'm screwed. You're getting ready to steal it. Because I know he had Tim pushing him hard, Alan and Mike. And so he went in, he got to run on me. I accidentally banged his door a little bit going into 1. But the thing was, for me, I knew he was going to get by me, but driving in hard as I could to where I knew Tim couldn't get beside me and side drive me and pull me back and keep me from making a recharge at Dylan. And when I drove it in as hard as I did on that high lane, I was able to make it stick and keep the momentum up without letting off, without fear of hitting the wall. So when I kept that momentum up, came off too, had a huge run, and it's all about pulling out at the right time, because if I pull out too soon, he's going to be able to block it and defend it. And I was able to pull out just late enough to where he couldn't defend it and get a little bit of that side draft off the corner panel and pull him back. And at that point, it was just whoever wanted it more going in 3, me or my teammate Dylan. But no, that's the thing about me and Dylan. We were going to race respectfully, and that's everybody up in that league group, including Trevor and Tim. Man, all 4 of us had one heck of a run there at the end. We did it respectfully. That's the main thing, and we'll have fun doing it.
Well, it's fun doing it, I'm sure. It was certainly fun to call it up here in the booth. You guys really put on a great show. Beating and banging, making contact without wrecking each other. That's good, hard racing, man. It was fun to watch. I hope everybody out in the stream that got to watch it tonight enjoyed it. I know I did. But Larry, congratulations, man. A job well done. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you get going?
First of all, I want to shout Lori and Jess for doing what they do to this league and run it amazingly. Mainly Lori for keeping us, I don't know what word to use, but us crazies in line when doing what she can and being a big supporter of mine. So thank you, Lori, for believing in me and letting me race this league. I love it. I'm a BR member for life. And shout out to Jess also for what he does. Shout out to my teammates. Derek, he had a real short night. He got caught up on lap 1 wreck. I hate it for him, but shout out to Derek, Chris, John, and again, shout out to my buddy Dylan. coming and bringing home 1-2 for Outcast Racing. Shout out to my buddy Cam if he's watching. Man, I won. I told you, you need to watch these broadcasts. It's fun to watch. So shout out to my buddy Cam and all my friends out at South Boston Speedway who support me. And you for your amazing broadcast. You do the best broadcast all in iRacing. Shout out to my sponsors. Well, I ain't got no sponsors. I just got Outcast. I don't have sponsors this season. But most importantly, last one, my wife for putting up with me, dealing with me. So love you, babe. Thank you for dealing with me. And and Angel and Center Foundation. That is the one. I'm sorry, Angel and Center Foundation. Again, anybody can go donate to any forms of autism. It don't matter what form it is. You'll be doing them people and whatever organization donate to an amazing cause. So just go help out what you can.
All right, Larry, again, job well done. Thanks for talking to us. Thanks for the kind words, man. Good luck next week at Daytona.
I'm going to need it since it's Daytona.
All right, Larry, take care, man.
Take care.
It's Larry Dickerson, your race winner here at Michigan Speedway. Next, we're going to talk to the soon-to-be birthday boy, Dylan Bryant, driver that number 51. Gave it all he had there at the end of this thing, trying to get that win away from Larry Dickerson. Just came up one short, but here he is, I think, the driver, number 51, Dylan Bryant. You got me?
Yes, sir, Steve. What's going on with you?
Oh, just nothing much. Just watching this, kind of boring race. That you guys put on a hell of a show, man. It was really fun to watch. You had a shot there. We were talking to Larry, of course, a moment ago about that white flag lap. He crossed it as the race leader, but you wasted no time. You dove to the inside into turn one to take that top spot away. What was the difference maker there in trying to hold off Larry there at the end and ultimately not being able to do it?
Yeah, just the main thing is just my right front was burned up, so I got a good run with Pope pushed me on the front stretch, and I told Laird that I was gonna at least try for it and stuff, and and we went down to turn one. I was kind of hoping that Pope would pull up next to him some to slow him down some, because I figured that he was gonna have the run. Because typically if you drive it harder than the other guy in the turn one, you kind of wash up it and you gotta lift off the throttle some, and it kind of kills you on the back stretch. So I figured that the run was going to come, drove it down to turn three, and it just slid some, and you gotta lift, and for the the fans at home, you gotta wait for the car to start to rotate before you can get back into it good, and I was waiting, and then it happened, and it was too late. So but it's a good win for Larry and Outcasts Racing, and coming up a spot short it sucks. It's been a long week, but I've been sick and everything else too. So going against Pope and Mike and the other ones in the top five and stuff, it was a blast.
Well, again, certainly a blast to watch on our end as well. I'm sure the fans enjoyed it. You guys put on a great show. How you managed to get through the wrecks, or not have the wrecks, really, at the end of that thing with as aggressive as you guys are driving. Just unbelievable. Job well done. We look forward to more of that here next week at Daytona. Obviously, we're going to be packed up, drafting like crazy fools next week, so hopefully we can avoid the big wrecks there too. But how do you feel about your shot at Daytona next week?
About as good as anybody else's chance. I'm just going to try to stay towards the front, try to control it some. I've been hanging in the back at these plate tracks, and that ain't my style. So I'm going to switch it up and go to the front, and hopefully I got Lady Luck on my side.
A little bit of luck never hurts at Daytona. Dylan, congratulations again. Second place finish and a great race here tonight. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, first and foremost, Lori for everything that she does for Vera L. Allen. He does a lot behind the scenes too. On top of being a great driver in the league too. So also all the drivers here. outstanding job. I don't think there's one guy that doesn't race me clean. Hard and clean's fun, and shout out to Outcast Racing, Derek, John, Chris, and of course Larry, the winner, and to you, Steve, with Track Limits Network. It's a new look for you. Looks good. So just keep up the good work, man, and you the best of the best, and I hope to talk to you at Daytona next week.
All right, Dylan. Well, again, thanks for the kind words, and congrats again. Good luck next week at Daytona.
All right, sounds good. Have a good night.
Too. Dylan Bryant, your runner-up here at Michigan Speedway. Next, we're going to talk to the Carolina Crusher, the number 7 of Timothy Pope. We'll pull him up into the booth and get a word with our third-place finisher, Timothy Pope. It's Steve in the broadcast booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Tim, congratulations. It was a strong run to watch. Once again, we watch you start near the back, and man, it doesn't take long. You're up near the front fighting hard with these guys. You had an opportunity. You led some laps. What was the difference maker there at the end of this thing?
The big runs in the draft, I guess. Slide job. But you get behind, you got to get a big run and put a slide job on somebody. Then if you can't got much help, get tied up in that aero push and you can't do a whole lot.
Definitely saw a lot of that tonight. Guys getting into a situation where they thought they had a whale of a run and just couldn't get it completed. We saw you able to do it a couple of times. Is it just a matter of really setting up that pass, maybe a lap, maybe 3 ahead of time?
Yeah, set them up, try to get that perfect run off the turn so you can barrel down the straightaway and dive on into the turn and slide up in front of them in the next turn.
Well, next week we go to Daytona. Things will be a little bit different, certainly more drafting, but packed up quite a bit. No one's going to be running away there. How do you feel about your odds next week at the Super Speedway in Daytona?
I go like it was the last couple of weeks here, and just battle. We got to survive, be there at the end. I guess I'll probably just ride in the back, try to miss all the wrecks if there is wrecks.
Well, so far so good. Another top 3 finish here at Michigan. Tim, congrats. Who do you want to thank before I let you go?
Hey, DY, Ricky Wittenberg for the paints, you guys for the broadcast, Jess and Lori for putting on the races.
All right, sir. Again, congratulations, man. Good luck next week at Daytona. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
It's Timothy Pope, driver of the number 7 Carolina Crusher Camaro, third-place finisher here at Michigan. Job well done by all involved, but let's take a look here at the official race results. Of course, we talked to our top 3, Larry Dickerson, Dylan Bryant, and Timothy Pope. 4th-place finisher was Trevor Robertson. 5th went to Mike Adamson. Alan Vaught was 6th after being so strong early on. Albert Anderson 7th. 8th was John McAdam. Ricky Wittenberg was 9th. John Osborne finished 10th. Jason Gaines was 11th. 12th went to Kyle Vaught. Kelly Cool 13th. Russ Kilgore 14th. Joe Canellis was 15th. Greg Dobson finished in the 16th spot. 17th was Andrew Player. Josh Bittner 18th. 19th was Sean McDonald. 20th, Anthony Williams. 21st finisher was David Feit. 22nd went to Chris Klein. Kevin Hunt was 23rd. Dave Mayberry 24th. Mike Everidge 25th. John Gallagher 26th. 27th was Austin Paul. Chandler Paul was 28th. These guys seem to finish right next to each other every week, regardless of where it is. Scott Roney was 30th. Deion Jones 31st. Jeremiah Burke 32nd. Dustin Eaton strong early, involved in a crash out of this one, 38 laps shy of the finish. 34th, Jack Dixon. Craig Goodenough 35th. 36th, Dustin Wade. And last but not least, certainly not in our hearts, 1 lap completed for Derek Welch. He'll finish in the 37th position here at Michigan. Tough night for DW. Got to thank you guys certainly all for tuning in here tonight. Stream chat was lightning busy. Guess you could call that lightning busy. I'm making stuff up now. I don't care. It sounded fun at the time, at least in my brain, but it didn't work out. We're going to continue on. YouTube.com/@TrackLimitsNetwork. That's the new handle. Same channel, so all the previous races under HBR TV still available if you need to go back and watch something just for fun. We certainly appreciate that. Check on those likes. If you haven't liked a previous broadcast and you're watching it again, you can always click it later. That's always an option for you guys. But if you haven't done it for tonight, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Help us out. We do appreciate that. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that follow or subscribe button. I got to look and see what it says these days. It's one of those two, but it's free to do. We don't charge a subscription fee or anything like that. We're just trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. It's taken us some time, a few years at this, but we're closing in here. Hopefully, first quarter of 2025, we can get that taken care of. But That's going to wrap it up for us here at Michigan Speedway. Congratulations again to Larry Dickerson and the rest of VRL for putting on such a great race here tonight. We'll see you guys at the next one at Daytona Super Speedway in a week from tonight. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.